Shalom Aleichem, guys. How you doing? So my topic is Lag BaOmer. That's what I was asked to speak about. So let me take a few minutes and try to discuss a very interesting topic of Lag BaOmer. The real shiloh we have to understand, and many Mefarshim get into the question, is what is so unique about Lag BaOmer? So there's explanations that it's Yom Elul of Rab Shimon Bar Yochai. There are different shittas and different explanations that maybe the Talmid of Rabbi Akiva stopped dying on Lag BaOmer. But I want to focus on one explanation which I think really gets to the focus of understanding the Yesodei Yesodos of Bichlal, the Yemei Avelus of the Sfira, and specifically the Gadlus of Lag BaOmer. So let's follow this. One of the explanations I saw in the Mefarshim is that Lag BaOmer was the day that Rabbi Akiva gave smicha to some of his next generation Talmidim. Now let me explain. There is a Gemara in Maseches Yevamos Daf Samach Beis Amud Beis. It also appears in Perek Yud Aleph of Medrash Rabbah of Koheles, a little bit in a different girsa and a little bit of a different version. But what I would like to focus on is the Yesod. Rabbi Akiva says, the Gemara explains, Baboker Zrayit Zarecha Uve'erev Al Tanachas Yadecha Hayulo Talmidim Be'tzeruto Yelo Talmidim Be'ziknuto. If you had Talmidim when you were young, you should have Talmidim when you're old, because you never know which Talmidim are really going to continue in the context of the Masorah. And the Gemara goes on to explain that Rabbi Akiva had 24,000 Talmidim, and they all died during the days of Sfira. And the Gemara uses a lashon, and the Medrash uses the same lashon, v'haya olam shomei. And Rashi explains the end of Torah, completely desolate of Torah. Torah was over. Imagine Rabbi Akiva going to 24,000 levayos in 33 days, and it doesn't make a difference how they died, if it's literally askara, if they choked, or other illnesses. But Rabbi Akiva is mamish burying all his Talmidim one after one, and the Olam is Olam Shomem, and that's the end of Torah. And goes Rabbi Akiva, Ad Sheba Rabbi Akiva l'Rabotenu Shebadoro. And the Gemara says 5, the Medrash says 7. V'heim emidu Torah. And they are the ones that went ahead and continued the Masorah and continued Torah. In other words, our Avelus really represents essentially not just the tragic experience of losing Torah, or losing the 24,000 Talmidim, but actually represents the fact that the Torah world went and became an Olam Shomem. Completely desolate, Torah is over. So it's not only the tragic situation of the Milchama Beitar, or Bar Kochva, or the death of 24,000 Talmidim, which each one of those obviously is enough to feel the feeling of Avelus, but it's expressing the fact that the Torah world totally disappeared. If that is the case, then we understand essentially that Lag BaOmer represents, according to this pshat, the capability of Rabbi Akiva to move on and to find the next Talmidim. And the names that are brought down is Rab Shimon Bar Yochai and Rab Yossi in this case, but let's specifically focus on Rab Shimon Bar Yochai, meaning the fact that Rabbi Akiva gathered his kochos with all of his breakdown and all the feeling of tragedy and lack of success, the and chas v'sholom failure. He was capable of regathering, regrouping, and going on to Rab Shimon Bar Yochai and giving Rab Shimon Bar Yochai smicha, so Rab Shimon Bar Yochai could continue the Masorah. That is what was celebrating Lag BaOmer. And in the poskim it appears that it's Chag Matan Simchas Torah almost. It's Chag HaTorah. And the reason it's Chag HaTorah and Chag Simchas Torah is exactly because this point. We are continuing. The Olam was Shomim. We're presenting that with Avelus. But now Lag BaOmer, we are getting together, going ahead and saying Rabbi Akiva did it, and he moved on, and we went on and rebuilt the Torah Sheba'al Peh, and by celebrating Lag BaOmer, we're representing the fact that the Torah Sheba'al Peh continues and the aspect goes on, and therefore Lag BaOmer is such a great celebration. So the Torah Sasoda that Rab Shimon Bar Yochai represents is amazing and great, and very, very important, and a very essential part. And according to some Mefarshim, that's the pshat that he gave over the sod, because this was the day of his ptira, and he lula Rab Shimon Bar Yochai, and he gave over the sod on this day. That's amazing and very special. But I think what we could connect to as Talmidim of Mesorah and Talmidim of Torah Sheba'al Peh, we could exactly connect to this point. The capability of Rabbi Akiva to take upon his shoulders the responsibility and not fall into depression and not to fall into the feeling of failure and lack of success. On the contrary, picked himself up and says, Torah must go on. Now on Lag BaOmer, I'm going to go ahead and find my Talmidim and give them the Mesorah. And Rab Shimon Bar Yochai is one of those. Rab Meir, Rab Nechemia, etc. are the others who went ahead and took this Torah and developed it onto the future. So the Yesodas of Lag BaOmer is the capability of realizing that when it's difficult, we take upon ourselves the responsibility, we take the achrayas, and we continue with the Torah, and maybe here we could connect even to the Eisha Torah, and maybe to the Minhag of Medurot, and another explanation to why the Medurot, because the Eisha Torah is the flame of Torah, the torch of Torah, which is going on hand, ish mi pi ish, as part of the Mesorah. So let us become part of this Mesorah and realize the godless and the achrayas that we have as individuals to take this Torah on and continue the Mesorah. Enjoy your Lag BaOmer. It was great talking to you. Take care.